You animal, how you doing? D11 9 nice to see you. And Ra, nice to see you. Only a couple in the room. That's not a problem. The show must go on. So, welcome to my channel. I am Art Walker 170. My channel is Art Walker itself, and I offer free tutorials. Why do I offer free tutorials? I offer them because I believe that everyone should have the opportunity to learn to draw. And I draw Delphine, Entschuldigung, excuse me, I'm speaking German, unfortunately. I'm switching languages, it's crazy. So what I like to encourage people to draw is because I see drawing as one of the most neglected areas in our lives. Everything is going digital, and I'm not against digital, but I believe that we need to hold on to some of our traditional skills, and one of which is how to draw. So what I am offering today is a tutorial on how to draw the human body. Happy Art Corner, how you doing? How to draw the human body, but we're going to specifically focus on the torso. As you can see, I did this a few months ago. How you doing, Happy Art? Nice to see you. Keep up the good work. Wandering Magician, how you doing? So what we're going to do is I'm going to break down how we're going to start with the body, the skeleton, only from the waist upwards to the shoulders, right? Just today. We need to keep it in a small frame because it becomes a huge tutorial, and we only have an hour. So my tutorials are interactive, so please draw at the same time. Draw as you watch. And also, if you've got any questions, please hit the like button, not hit the like button, drop the messages in the comment bar, and I will do my best to help you. Class has got a small break. We'll post this. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit, we'll draw the neck a little bit as well. As you can see, we'll touch on that just slightly. So everyone got paper? As you know, I do this for free. So I need you guys to hit that like button as many times as you can. Share it to as many people as you can, because it helps me, because I'm trying to help you guys, right? So do me that favor and just share it, like it as much as you can, just to promote me and help me keep my channel going. Right, so here we go. Let's get into this. Here we have some examples of the human body, right? So we're going to concentrate on this area, as I said, but we will obviously add the shoulders and so on, and possibly even the neck very quickly, depending on how much time we have. So what I like to do is I like to break things down in very basic shapes. I'm just going to grab a few older tutorials that I've got here. So here, what we're going to practice now is just practice drawing the torso as blocks. That's what we're going to do, right? So we're going to learn how to draw the blocks, and then we're going to add the muscle, and then possibly shading, but that's not the object of the exercise. Najla, how you doing? Long time, Mr. Fox. So now we're going to get into that. So everyone, if you're sketching, don't worry about making mistakes, right? Don't worry about mistakes. That's all part of the journey. So now let's warm up the pen and simply draw some straight lines. In fact, I'm going to use this one. Oh, congratulations. Bentley's on the way. Bentley's on the way. Well done. Congratulations. So now I'm just warming up the pen, right? So this is what you should do all the time. Warm up the pen. Do some very basic curves, diagonal lines, circles, just to get into your drawing mode, so to say. So now we're going to break down the human body, and I break it down as, or not just me, but you can start with, let's just start with this type of shape. All right, so you could call it a square, or it's slightly rectangular. So we're going to start like this, and then we're going to add another rectangle underneath here. All right. So this, yeah, well done. I'm using a mechanic. That's all right. Use whatever you've got at your disposal. So this represents the spine, This represents the rib cage, and this represents the actual hips themselves. So now I'm going to do it again. The reason I do it again is because I want you guys to see the steps. So if anyone joins, they will see the steps as well. As you can see, I'm a bit scrappy. I don't worry about making mistakes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fine tune my rectangles. So what do I mean by that? Wait, I don't do this. I just look at a picture. Yeah, well, there are a lot of people here that don't know how to do this. So that's why I'm doing it, basically. So now, there are many ways to do this. You don't have to do it this specific way, but as I said, this is actually for beginners. So beginners are going to appreciate the effort that I'm putting in here. Like so. So as you can see, I've now added the rib cage. Thank you, Cosmo the Clown. That's what this is for beginners, right? So if you're at a higher level, maybe it's not ideal for you. That's all I'm going to say. It's not ideal for everyone because this is for beginners. So it's good to learn anatomy though. 100%. You have to learn the anatomy. It's not good to learn it. You have to. Like here, you have to learn the anatomy. How would you add the muscles? I will do that, but stage by stage. I will only do this at my pace. Not only that. Yes, exactly. You can change the shape of the body based on the shape of the blocks that you use here, right? So let's stick to the script. So now we've got, this is our spine. This is, it's a male figure, and this is the our rib cage, right? So everyone's kind of clear on that. So let's take this another step further. So we've gone from block to skeleton, so to say. So roughly draw the same thing again. I would encourage you to draw it again, just so you become more familiarized with the technique. Like so. I'm blitzing through this, as you can see. Solar plexus. And then we add rib cage. And then obviously our spine would run up here. And then we can add, again, our hips. Like so. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more detail here. Right, so without getting too complicated, we would add the shoulders like so. Roughly, our shoulders look like that, connecting to our upper arm. Right, so we're not going to go much further than that, right? Because we don't need all of that information, because we're going to concentrate just on the torso area, right? But this is going to be important because our arms are connected to our chest. I think, yes, I will be going for an hour, Jack. Sorry, I missed that. And I haven't got any moderators in here, unfortunately. They've all bailed. Well, Lumi's not the only method. I wouldn't definitely just stick to the Lumi's method. Not necessarily. There are other methods, very similar. And I don't believe it's only his method. I don't believe that, to be honest. It is a good method, but it's not ideal. If you want to draw different head shapes, you have to forget that method. I did some anatomy on the body and it's been helping me a lot. Good. Need to go, sadly. Okay, take care. Okay, I will try. I will try and have a look. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't. You can't stand it. It's not that I can't stand it, but people just get locked into it, and it's not the only method. That's what I say. There are other methods that are equally as good. Here's my method actually. That's quite good as well. Anyway, let's not digress too much. So here we have the solar plexus, and now I'm going to add. If you imagine the collarbone area, if you imagine it, it looks almost like a tie. It looks almost like a tie. So you can literally add a tie here, and that will help you define where the collarbones are. And we're not going to go too much into it. We're just going to show it very, very basically like so. And that cradles also part of our shoulder. I'm not going to go into the details because it's a little bit too high level, but this is the basic structure that we need. Yes, this is a live drawing. Why do you start off with a rectangle? I start off with a rectangle because for some people drawing this shape on its own might be difficult. I could say it's an egg shape. There's more than one way, isn't there? But I like to start off with blocks because when we start to draw the body at an angle, you're going to have to recognize that as a three-dimensional object. Do you see what I mean? So when you draw the torso to the side, it's hard to draw that shape here, I believe. And I think it's hard for beginners. I've been teaching kids for quite a while, and I find that when I break it down like this, it works quite well. They can understand that. So thank you to all that are hitting the like button and sharing. This is being recorded, so if you miss out on anything, you can watch it on my YouTube. So that question that I think it was Ara, yeah, there you go. So what I'm going to show you is, if you imagine this shape here that we've got here, these rectangles, if we draw them from the side now, just to answer your question, which is a fair question, because I know what you mean. You could just simply draw an egg shape, right? But then if I draw this like so, we've automatically got a three-dimensional object. And a lot of people struggle with 3D objects, right? But if I say to you, draw a box shape like so, you draw, this is the opening for the neck, and now you create the same rib shape here. I find it gives you a better understanding as to the 3 dimensions. So for example, top, front and side. Life of Lemon, how you doing? Yeah, we'll touch on that as well. We'll touch on female anatomy as well. That's not a problem. Try female anatomy. I didn't want to make his head too big. Okay, so that's something else. Yeah, check my YouTube out because there are about 90 tutorials on there. So now we have answered the question with regards to why we set the body in a rectangle. So we're going to concentrate a bit more. So I'm going to draw. So let's just name this 1, stage 2, stage 3, and that's 3+. Has anyone got any questions? Anatomy is fantastic, mate. Anatomy is excellent. It's great fun. What are you talking about? It's the best thing in the world. Hit the like button and share. Najla is my part-time moderator. Bless her. Thank you very much. I mean, can try to draw realistic, but later, but on, but. Okay, so this is a conversation among you all. Already crying? No, don't cry, don't cry. We got this. We got this. Don't cry. Oh, pull yourself together. Anatomy is still a struggle. Okay, but we're going to get into the anatomy part. But now you can see why I'm breaking it down, right? Right, so let's go deeper now, right? I'm going to draw it again, but I'm going to draw it nice and big, right? So, so I would start with a line. Everyone draw a line. I had some biscuits earlier on. And then everyone draw a rectangle here. It's not so much a square. It's more of a rectangle, right? So go slightly rectangular. We're not going to worry too much about proportion yet, because that's just going to complicate everything far too much, and we don't need to do that. So we are going 2 rectangles. Let me know when you've done that, because then we go to stage 3. Okay, another time. So now we're going to stage 2. We've done stage 1. We're going to stage 2. Now we are creating our rib area, and we are also creating our hips. We're going to put the spine in here, because it is there. It's at the back, right? Everyone got that? Stan's getting moody. Yeah, what are you lot talking about? You lot need to concentrate. This is only going to go for an hour. It's only going to go for an hour. So if you miss it, you're going to have to watch it on YouTube. So like I've done here, now we're on stage 2. So now what we need to do is, like I said, add you know what a tie is, right? A necktie. So if we've got a necktie like so, this helps you if you want to draw. This is my speedy necktie, right? So if you want to draw the collarbone, think of it as a necktie, right? So I use, because it does look like that. It does look like that. So I just add a necktie shape here, slightly over this line here. And then I drag it down to here, and I peek it out here. This is pretty much what it looks like, without getting too complicated, because I'm not clued up on the names. 100% not. So don't ask me what it's called, because I don't know. How do you make the lines? Practice, my friend. Only practice. That's all you need to do. So now we have our collarbone here, and I will look up the name of this actual part here. And then we have our rib cage here. So now we need to add the actual collarbones here. 1 and 2. So now we've got our collarbones pretty much in place. Does it make it more complicated if you want to draw someone but have to do this? Well, this process is not very complicated once you start to understand it. Because if you have to look at it, these are the stepping stones you need to understand. Because if I was to start drawing this without drawing that, you guys would be totally lost. So it's important that you have the steps. Even if you are cooking something, you have a process, right? So you get up, you go to your kitchen, you grab your pan, you grab your cutting board, or whatever it may be. And then you have this process. I believe that artwork is the same. You have to have that same process. I've been drawing seriously for the last 11 months. But I've always drawn. But I'm putting a lot more work into it. So let's get into it. Let's add our upper arm, which looks roughly like so. And if you haven't seen my arm drawing tutorials, you can see those lives. I've drawn arms live anatomically correct, so to say. I'm going to say that loosely because I'm sure many people would probably disagree, but that's okay. So now we have our skeleton. See, we have our human body skeleton, right? So all this information, we won't add all the arms and stuff like that, maybe, but now we're going to stick to the torso. Is everyone getting that? Is everyone getting that? See, so this is the tutorial that I did before. And as you can see, I'm using different color pens to define different areas. And obviously when we're drawing torso, we need to add the arms because they're connected. Join me on YouTube, mate. Because I didn't buy it. I downloaded OBS Studio and I'm going to be doing my lives on YouTube soon. So if you like this kind of stuff, I haven't even got any images here. But if you're not aware of my work, I've got a couple here actually. See, this is what I did recently, yesterday. If you haven't seen that, this is a video that I did recently on how to draw feet. This one's coming up on how to draw the human hand in a fist shape. I've drawn one up already where we have the human hand holding the sword and stuff like that. And as you can see, I sketch a lot with the big biro so that there is zero room for error. And if you like that kind of stuff, you're in the right place. Good. Has anyone got any questions? Anyone got any quick questions before I continue? Jenka's happy. And if you aren't following me, please subscribe to my YouTube. That's why I do it for free, because I want to help people. Holy bro needs to be my teacher. I will be. I am your teacher. Do the L. Yes, they should. They should roughly align. If you put your arms up like that and put them down, they should be just. It depends on how tall you are. This is a variable. I always say I just call them variables because people have different length arms. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So. Good. Albert, you're in the right place. Just follow me on YouTube. That's all I ask. Cheers, mate. Beautiful work. Okay, let's keep going. So now we've got the solar plexus here, right? Now we're going to start adding some muscle. Let's go green. No, I can't go green again. I'm going to go blue again, right? So here we have a bit of a separation between our chest here, right? We've got separation, and then our chest actually connects to our upper arm here, roughly around here. So when you move your arms upwards, your chest gets stretched upwards as well. So this is something that you have to bear in mind. And also here, your chest muscle is connected to your collarbone, like so. So that's something you have to bear in mind. As you can see here, the connection to the collarbone. And then as the arm goes upwards here, it stretches the muscle that is connected to the shoulder, right? Has anyone got any questions about that? Anyone got any questions? I have ADHD. Oh, brilliant. What? Take your time. Zygrade. Take your time. Draw boxes first. Then this. Then. And so on. Slowly. Slow stages. Very important. How do I draw a heart? There, just that upside down. Just draw the rib cage and turn it the other way around. Then you got a heart, mate. That's all you need to do. Well, you don't have to do it in this order. You can actually just draw. You can just draw It depends on how good you are. If you're good enough, you can just draw a body like this. You don't have to follow these stages. But if we're doing a tutorial on the body or any body part for beginners, I'm not going to start it like this. I'm not going. That is going to be way too hard. But if you're a beginner and you want to learn how to draw the body, you have to learn it in stages. It's like learning to drive a car. I'm definitely not going to put you in a Formula One on your first lesson, because you're just going to be overwhelmed and drive straight into something. Do you see my point? And if I plan something, I don't have to draw the box. I'll probably skip a few stages. However, if you do get lost, at least you know what tools you can use to find your way. Like so. But that's how I could draw it. But I don't want to draw it like that, because we are teaching for beginners. Shoulders kind of trip me up a lot. Yes. So now we're getting to the shoulder, right? So we are here. And the shoulder is quite complex. Let's draw it in green. And what I would do is, as I've done here, instead of trying to explain to you this shape in a way I can't understand, I draw the shoulder like this. And that type of shape. Why do I do that? Because then what I do is I round it off. Do you see that? And that's how, say for example, if you've got proportion issues or shape issues with your shoulders, box it off and then box it off again, because then you can have the same, you work on the same shape for your shoulder. And I find it's easier when you box something off and then you round it off. Even when I draw eyes, when I teach people to draw eyes, we start with a box and then we round it off. That's what I find is quite important. So for example, I'll just do a really quick one here. If I'm drawing an eye, if I'm teaching someone to draw the eye, we start like this. See, I've got this box here, then I round it off. And then I've got the shape for the eye. And then when you're struggling with symmetry, all you have to do is a mirror image of that box. And that helps a lot, because you've got some guidelines as to where to start. So tons of messages. Well, the muscles move like this. It stretches. It stretches upwards. And here, as you can see here, that's where both muscles are stretched, because it's connected to let's say a third way down your arm, especially when. Yeah, I'll have to see it to understand what you mean. What's the general stages for beginner in order? Here, this is the start point. Point number 1. If you want to learn the torso, and this is 3+, because I've just simply turned the body at a 3D angle here. Maybe I'll teach you guys to paint when I learn to do it myself properly. Question. The anatomy is the same, but the shape is not the same with regards to the male and female. So say, for example, this in theory would be more male. And then if you want to draw a female, I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. I'm going to go smaller here, right? So I'm going to, let's just put male here, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of the female torso here. So the rib cage I'm going to make smaller, and then let's add so the male chest is obviously wider, right, with regards to the rib cage, but the actual shape is slightly different. The females is slightly smaller and less robust. However, we have the same proportions, but it changes. So for example, when we add this box here for the ribs, for the hips, you can widen this box here. When you widen that box, you have a more female widened hips, like so. So you have a more female form. You see that? But in theory, it is exactly the same. But the female hips are wider and deeper. The male hips are more squared. So if you're drawing the hips, imagine the hips. If I want to draw female hips, I draw them wide and deeper in a sense, and then here I can add, for example, the thighs, female. If I draw a male, I go straighter and not as deep, and then I add, the hips are obviously straighter, as I said here, they jut out slightly. Here the male would be a lot straighter, so this for me would be more, a male body. So we got our female here, and then we got our male here. Does that help you? Does that answer your question? When you're doing all these sketches, how do you polish it to finish? I don't. They just stay like this. They just stay crazy like this. These are worksheets. So worksheets, my worksheets are a war zone. As you can see, they are a war zone. Look, going back to it. There you go. Look, female. See that? The hips. The male is straighter. That's how you define the difference. Good. Okay, let me see. I've got 25 messages. I need to soldier on a bit faster now. Hold on. Greetings, Billy. How you doing, mate? And thank you for all those that are hitting the like button. I think it is in Vinci. I think it is. I've got 122 people watching, which is brilliant. Oh, thank you, Billy. That's really nice. It's 4:20. It is 11:30. I'm trying to make my own comic, but I need some advice. It depends on the comic, mate. You have to learn to draw and work out your own style. Okay, I'm going to the bathroom. Oops. Okay, yeah. Off you go. I'll learn. Yes. That is the truth. Yes. We haven't yet. Well, you could say that's here. That's right. It's here. So that's the truth. Wait, oh my God, I'm starting to get it. See? This is why I do it in stages. This is exactly why I do it in stages. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and definitely share and subscribe to my YouTube. Right side robes. Helpful visual. Not directly. I don't know what that means. Sorry. This is amazing. I'm glad I came across it. You're welcome, CP. How do you draw a realistic heart? I don't know. I thought you were joking, Albert. I don't know. I've never drawn a realistic heart. Any tips on drawing? Sorry, I'm a beginner. That's why you're here. That's why I've got Torso for beginners. You join my YouTube channel and you gradually go through my live streams because they're all like this. Trying to make my own too. Yeah, you just have to draw. If you want to add people to your live streams, to your comics, you have to study clothing, facial expressions, anatomy, backgrounds. So there's a lot to do. Chibai W Ankh, are you able to explain how? I've got a wicked back drawing tutorial. Absolutely awesome. The back, I like drawing the back. The back is one of the things I really, really like to draw. And the back of the body, I haven't done one yet. The lower body, the legs. I need to get through these questions. Of the peg. How long it takes? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm from London. You're welcome. How do you draw muscle? How do you draw the muscles on the male? Right, so we're going to continue. Let me continue. We're going to continue. I've got 5 more quickly. Can you tell me how to? Yes, I can show you that in a minute if I get around to it. If I get around to it. I'm wanting to get into animation for the... I don't know how to... Good, you're in the right place. Tomorrow morning. Yes, my tutorials are very interactive. You need to be on your game. Right, so let's get into this. So now we're going to add some muscles, right? So we are going to add here the obliques. Oh, I'm talking too much. We're going to add the obliques like so. So now we're forgetting, we don't have to follow these shapes here. The square, we can start to soften. We're softening all these edges, right? So we've got the obliques here. And then we can add our abdominals here. So obviously we've got our groin area here. And this is where the torso actually belongs with regards to the obliques and abdominal muscles. Right? See how I've just curved that up. I've ignored this. This is just a frame, right? And as I said, if you're drawing the shoulders, now we know where the collarbone is. You can, if you're struggling, you can simply add a box shape here, like so. I'm going to do the same here. This helps with symmetry. Because then all I have to do is grab my pen and then I round everything off. And I've got pretty symmetrical shoulders. Delts. I'm going to push that up, the collarbone. I'm going to push it up a little bit higher here. You see that? And the same, we could do the same with what? Well, we can add the bicep here. And then the same here. And that goes under the arm here. So now we've got the bicep. We're not going to go too much into the arm, but this is what we would pretty much add the tricep behind here and so on. So what's missing? We are missing our lats. So we can add our lat muscles here. And then you see a little bit of there's a little bit of a bulge. I haven't got enough space. I've pushed this arm a bit lower. But we would normally have a slight bulge here. And it would connect to our rib cage here. I'm going to just kind of fake it there. because this arm is a little bit closer. And that would follow, the muscles would actually follow the rib cage like so. I have a question. I have a cousin. No, it's not. I really don't know how to draw left-handed. However, you would probably, well, so I suppose, do I work from left to right? So as a left-handed person, I'm not sure if I work from left to right, but as a left-handed person, maybe you have to work, I don't know, from right to left. Not sure. Thank you for the gifts, by the way. That's really nice of you. And hit the like button if you like what you see. Right? Good. So let's keep going. Has anyone got any questions? I don't think so. No, I don't think it does make any difference. But I'm not sure. I was just thinking, because I tend to spring from left to right anyway. Yeah, you probably smudge it, right? Yeah, which I do. When I'm inking, I make sure I ink from left to right. Because if I go opposite, then I start to smudge. Or you work from top to bottom. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's got anything to do with anything. That's good. I used to be quite ambidextrous. I could use my left hand to play badminton, but I can't use it to draw. So, okay, let's keep going before we run out of time, because the time is ticking and ticking. So now we need to add our abdominals. Usually the belly button, I'm losing it. Is this anatomy? Yes, it is. So usually the belly button is around here. And this is where we could define our six packs. So what I would suggest is, if it depends, you can illustrate them slightly rounded, or you can go straight, right? So let's just go kind of straight. 1, 2, we're going to oops, that should be a bit lower. 1, so we got 1, 2, 3, and then the lower one is here. So what I would do then is, because they do meet in the middle like so, I just drop a little V here and curve it upwards. And then we've got, I suppose, someone with a very, very good six-pack like so. And curve it down. And then we have our six-pack. See, so what I did there, I'm going to do it again. If this is our abdominal area, right? So we've got the abdominal area. This line here is this line here. This one here. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3 lines here, roughly around the same distance. Right in the center, I'm going to add my belly button. And then I add a slight, you could say a V or a soft U shape, like so. And then you have a pretty cool looking six-pack. But you can change that. You don't have to do it that way. And if you are drawing someone and you want their belly to be slightly larger, so say for example here, if I want to have, if I've got my person, the body is here. I'm going to blitz this really quickly. So then we got the opening, the cavity here, got the spine here, right? So we've got our hips roughly here. If you want this person to have a slightly rounder belly, you don't draw straight lines. You bulge it slightly here. And then you've got the keg pack. See that? So we've literally drawn the same frame, but now we've made that person slightly heavier. Just by curving this stomach area here. Is everyone getting that? How to draw an impressive eye. You go onto my YouTube. I haven't got one here, but I'm quite good at drawing eyes actually. I've got a random eye here from Jolene. I'm quite good at drawing eyes. That is one of my comfort zones. That is one of my comfort zones. So these are just some random sketches I've got on the side here. But you need to jump onto my YouTube and then you can... Oops. Then you can see how and learn how to draw eyes. No, I'm not doing clothing. I'm not doing clothing. I'm not doing eyes or clothing, just the torso. Because then it becomes a huge live stream. Has anyone got any questions? And I did a live stream on clothing literally a week ago. Has anyone got any questions about what I've done up until now? I'm just going to pause the action quickly. And thank you very much for your kind gifts, Jim Bob, Wandering Magician. The 3D one, this one here, yeah, this is what you have to understand. So for example, here, this is flat, right? So that's 2D. This is flat. We can only see 2 dimensions. This we can't see 3. We have 1, 2, 3. We only have 1, 2. So what you have to do is, if you imagine, let's do it again and get the right color pen, because this is going to help you later on when you start to draw characters from the side, because nobody draws a character directly from the side. You're going to want to have a little bit of variation in your artwork, because directly from the side a person would look like this. Do you see what I'm saying? That would be directly from the side. Whoops, that's a bit short. Excuse me. That was a little bit short. See, so we got the neck, we got the body, our rectangle, and then we would have our rib area here. See that? And then we'd have our spine and then our hips again. That's someone directly but from the side. So what we're doing now is we're doing someone not directly from the side. We're just trying to understand, what does the human body look like in a 3/4 position, and it looks like this. The rib cage looks roughly like this. This is the opening for our neck. And then we would add the hips underneath it. Oops, wrong pen, doesn't matter. I would probably push it in a little bit here. And then we have our torso in a 3/4 position. Like so. One, duck. And then we could actually bend that line as well. It doesn't have to be that straight. You can bend it, then it makes it look a little bit more realistic, or a lot more realistic, because nobody's body is that straight. But now we've got a body that is being viewed at a side angle. And then we add the chest. So, is anyone, thank you very much to those that are sharing. That is really important for me. And what also is really important is that people join my YouTube channel. That would be the best. If I could get 1,000, that would be the best. I think I only need 25. So if there are, of the 72, I beg you, no, I'm asking you kindly, that would be nice. Benefits of drawing on paper versus digital. The benefits of drawing on paper is the fact that you can have a piece of paper and you don't need power. You just need the paper. And you're not limited by the packages that you use. That is not a very good thing. Oh, that's nice, I-grade. That's nice. What about flexing and arching the back? Yes. How do we do it? Well, this is slightly what we got now. This is why I would encourage to use these blocks, because if I draw this as the spine, it's going to get a little bit complicated now. Even for me, I tend to get a little bit lost with this sometimes as well. That needs to be a bit sharper, especially when it's at a 3D angle. This is tricky, and I'm not going to go there because it's a little bit high level. So we've got our torso here. Oops, that should be in the middle, right? We're rounding off, and then we are like so, spine, and then we got hips. So now we've got a torso that's tilting to the side, and the muscle is more compressed here. So let's keep going. We add separation. We can add our collar. Let's add the collarbone. Let's push them upwards. So if we push the collarbones upwards like so, the neck would be here. The collarbones are going upwards here. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the person here, they're raising their arms. So we would add the shoulder muscles here, like so. The principle is the same. We're going to add our abdominals. They're going to be slightly compressed here because the person's tilting to the side. We might see a little bit of the lat here, and then here would be stretched. And now we have a person tilting to the side. It's a little bit long. I should probably tidy that up a little bit. Yes, I'll post it on YouTube later on today. Yes. Yeah, why not? Obviously, if you're drawing a superhero, the superhero torso, you could probably go wider here. Wider here. Principle is exactly the same. Straight hips for the male. Right, so we've gone wide here. I would add an arc here. Then we can add our neck. See, so we've got our neck defined, connecting to our collarbone here. We're going to add the same rib cage, but as you can see, I've amplified it here. So this is going to make our person or character automatically more more broad than the other drawings that we've just done. So let's add, I'm gonna instead of drawing straight lines, I'm gonna bring that inwards. And then I'm gonna make the chest quite large. We've got separation here, as I said earlier, or as we did together. I'm gonna add some bigger shoulders. And now we've got some sort of superhero proportions. Waist is a little bit narrow. Let's take that out a bit. It's a little bit over the top. Yeah, his waist is far too small. Never mind. And now we've got some more superhero type proportions. Thank you, Invinci. Oh yeah, I appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. I appreciate anyone that's following me. I'm just here to help you. I could do this on my own, really. I could probably ask for money for this. I know I can, but I don't. That's not my intention. At some point, maybe I will have to. So I would use the opportunity now. But I do want to encourage people to draw. I've been doing this for 11 months and I haven't charged anyone. And as you can see, I hardly even say hit the like button and stuff like that. I should push it a little bit harder. But this is not my profession. This is just a little bit of my contribution to the world. Trying to be a good citizen, not a greedy one. Thank you very much for the shares and the follows. Have you created a drawing book? No, I haven't. And I would love to one day. Maybe when I retire. Thank you, Semicolon. Nice to see you again. It's the best contribution. I believe so. And this is why I do it. This is why I do it. Because I don't you need to sometimes, try and spread a little bit of positivity around you. And I get people write to me all the time thanking me, right? So I know that's not going to pay the bills, but I put a limit as to how much I invest into this. But if I can help people, I don't mind. Doing this for me is not a problem. I don't know. I don't know what I want from it yet. Expressive hands. Thomas, you go to my, because I'm good at hands actually. You go to my YouTube. I'm not drawing hands today. I will be doing a hand drawing tutorial very soon because I haven't done one for a long time. And I will be doing one very soon. But not today, not on this live. I don't mix my lives. It's Monday. Yes, I'm having good Monday. Looking forward to going to work soon. Looking forward to that. So, is everyone good with that? Is everyone good with that? No, I haven't done any commissions, no. Not yet. Who knows? Who knows where the path may lead us? So, okay. Oh, I'm happy. You're more than welcome, mate. You're more than welcome. Just follow my YouTube. If you want to show me any gratitude, please follow my YouTube. And I will be doing another tutorial tomorrow. Who knows what I will be discussing? Maybe I'll do the human head again. Haven't done that for a while, actually. the skull drawing. When did I do that? The 25th of the 8th. So I've got tons that I need to do, really. And I enjoy it because I practice as well. I do like to practice. And if you haven't seen the nose drawing ones that I've done, eye drawing ones, they are all there on my YouTube. I'm not sure. I think I did this in a live as well. I'm not sure. Not sure. Running out. Forgetting what I'm doing. Do so many, you start to forget. Could you try to draw the whole body? Would you draw the back? Yeah, no, I'm not doing the back today. But the whole body, I've done it, but I don't do it in a tutorial because it takes far too long. It's a really complex, complex thing to draw, the human body. That's why I break it down in parts. I tend not to do the whole body because then it really takes a long time. Because then now, after 1 hour, I would now be moving on to the thighs and then the arms and then the hands. It's a little bit too much. Yes, there's a fabric. And with regards to to draw the back turbulences, you can find that on my YouTube. And it's literally my method on drawing the back. I'm not going to do it now, but I literally start it with, you can look it up, it's called the Art Walker back drawing method. I literally started with an A and a W. And then I turn that, I'm just going to do it really quickly, into the back. As you can see, it's already taking shape. So this is not Lumi's method. This is my method. Nothing to do with him. But now you can see I've got my own back drawing method. And it literally starts with an A and a W. So no one can steal that from me. And that's how, as you can see, how I draw the male, the human back. We could do male and female, but that's how I start it, with a simple A and W. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's boring. Everyone's on my Lumi's method. Go away. It's just drawing, isn't it? It's like me saying, oh, this is the Art Walker line drawing method. What? Everyone's going to have their... But this one cannot be taken away. Because I did that during a live and I was jumping for joy. You saw me do it. I literally start with an A and a W. So that one cannot be taken away. Ha ha! Boom! That is the Art Walker back drawing method. 100%. Cannot be denied. Can I draw it again? No, I'm not going to draw it again. You can go and find it on my YouTube and you can do that. That is literally how I do it. Art Walker back drawing method. A, W. Tick, tick, tick. And you got the back of the head here. And you got your, this one's a little bit thicker. Thicker around the waist. I'm rushing it now. But that's how I would do it. That is the Art Walker method. Coming to you, not cinema, that's absolute not. Coming to a screen near you. Good, we are now into 1 hour and 5 minutes and I need to go. Because I need to go and get ready for work. You need to join my Discord. If you're not on my Discord and you've missed my lives, or you are missing my live, join my Discord and you'll be alerted. So I would recommend that you do that. You're my fave. Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. And I will be back tomorrow And if I do come back this evening, it's probably not going to be a tutorial. It's going to be something where I'm just chilling, hanging out, and teasing my moderator, Najla. Hello, what is this? Ah, you're at the end of it, Capitano. It was a torso drawing tutorial, but it's now at its end. So I'm going to wish you all. I think I have done one, but not a great one. Very basic with regards to drawing water. Capitano, you have to jump onto my Art Walker YouTube, because that's where you can find it. I will be posting it hopefully within the next half an hour. Brilliant. Thank you for your time, everyone. To the 98 that are in the room. Pretty impressive stuff. And turbulences, check my YouTube. You'll find that back drawing technique. And if you draw something, mention me. I'd love to see it. Cheers. Cheers, Leanne. Nice to see you again. Mali. Be kind to each other. Thank you, Najla. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.